Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode here in NHL 23. So last episode we had free agency and we also started up the season simulation, and as you can see so far, we are having an abysmal season, probably the worst season I've ever had in a franchise mode. We are 3-17-2 after 22 games. And yeah, our offense has been terrible. Our defensive play has been pretty terrible. Everything has pretty much been terrible, I think. And I think our special teams are doing decent, if I remember right. Maybe not. But otherwise, we are not doing too good at all this season so far. But anyways, in today's episode, we're going to be simulating up to the day before the trade deadline just to get ourselves prepped up for that in case we want to make some trades this off season or this actual season. Yeah, hopefully this team doesn't win more games. I feel like I want to just keep on tanking so we get the first overall pick no matter what, almost, unless the lottery screws us over. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind like some of the younger guys still producing a little bit more, because some of these guys on this team have really underproduced. As you can see, Pettersson is leading our team in points, which is kind of bad considering he was our first pick last year. And yeah, he's been our best player so far, 12 points through 22 games. But then you go to guys like Brad Lambert, 9 points in 22 games, ain't really that great. You go down to guys that we brought in on big term deals like Fiala, 7 points in 22 games. Gerard, 7 points. Like, literally a lot of these guys should be doing a lot more than that. Byfield's only got 1 goal through 22 games. Like, I really don't know if it's just a coach. It probably is the coach. But yeah, like Korchinski, for example, jumped to the NHL this year. He's only got 3 points as an offensive defenseman. So there's a lot of concerns with how this team is performing offensively. Zari's been not that great. Oleson's only got 1 goal through 22 games. Like, a lot of guys are just underperforming, and then the goaltending numbers have been absolutely horrific so far. Both goalies only have 1 win through their first 10 plus games, which is kind of nuts. So, but Comesso's been the better of the two, which is at least good, because Comesso's only win was a shutout win, which is kind of interesting there too. So anyways, before we get into simulating more of the season, we do have a couple comments to go over. So the first one is from Pens Gaming 7. He says, if you're in playoff contention, go for it. This team is looking nice with all the young players coming through. Honestly, it's about time to make the playoffs, at least to start pushing for it. Well, I don't think that's really the case. I think this team's not close, really. Like, yeah, there is a lot of good young players that are up and coming, so we should be, anyways, in a few years, once we get a good coach and whatnot, making the playoffs. But I don't think this team is ready to contend just yet, because I feel like if we are to contend, we might contend for like 3 or 4 years, and then we might not make the playoffs again for another 4 years. Like, I would rather be kind of like a team that just like slowly develops, and then we're competitive for like 10 plus seasons, you know, or even 15 plus seasons. So, yeah, I don't think this team is really that close based on how we're playing right now, but it could be just because of the coach. So maybe if we had a better coach, this team would look a lot better. Who knows? Okay, so the next comment is from Alien Pete. He says, initially I didn't love you giving up 2 mid-round picks for the cap hit, but after seeing that second trade for Goodbranson and a 4th, I think you made a very smart move recouping a pick here. Love the series. You should do a rebrand of the Blackhawks logo, start a new era for the team. They definitely need some change. So that's a bit of a touchy subject. I'm not going to be doing a rebrand, but it's not because of my own personal views, because I think for one, in real life, they should do a rebrand. But I know if I do end up doing a rebrand in this franchise mode, probably a lot of Blackhawks fans would gaslight me, because obviously a lot of them think the logo is okay. I personally don't think it's okay, but it's literally just because of that. Like, I just don't want to get gaslit because of making a small little change like that, and also I'll probably lose a lot of my viewer base because of that, because yeah, supporters and stuff like that. Literally, I just don't want to make any, like, I don't want to have like this being like a conflicting thing where all of a sudden I'm just getting a lot of hate for no reason. So anyways, thanks for that comment though, Alien Pete. Next comment is from Jonas Ellis. He says, yo bro, mostly I'm a silent watcher, but I thank you for your videos. I'm a big fan of both your series that you have going on right now, so keep it up. And whenever I can't fall asleep, I'm watching your latest last franchise mode episodes, or last franchise modes, and your relaxing voice actually does wonders for me. Thank you. So I don't know if to take that as a compliment or like a bad thing. So I guess it's good that it helps you sleep there, Jonas, but at the same time, it makes me sound like I'm boring because my voice is not really, I don't know if my voice is that soothing to go to sleep to, but whatever floats your boat there. So thank you for that comment though, Jonas. I appreciate the comment. Next comment is from Hockey Guy 88. He says, you definitely need to find a way to get Haltonen into the NHL lineup. 81 is too good for a player like him to be playing in the AHL. And then I was like saying to him, like, who should we technically move out? And he was saying that we should probably just scratch Brandon Tanev, basically, so we don't have to worry about like losing cap and stuff like that if we send him down. So more than likely Brandon Tanev will be scratched, and we will be calling up Holttunen. And I think I might end up sending down, to be honest, Oskar Olsson, because 1 goal in 22 games. I feel like he might need a little bit more time in the AHL level, so he might be the guy that gets sent down to call up Holttunen. And the last comment is from Kevin Himina. He says, it looks like you have acquired 2 defensemen that Sens fans dislike so much. So he was probably mentioning about Zaitsev before, because we used to have Zaitsev. Who was the other defenseman that he's mentioning? That oh, and Goodbranson. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I had to bring in Goodbranson because, I mean, like, at least it gives us a cap hit for a few years, you know, and it kind of makes some more sense in that category. And bringing in somebody that could keep us afloat with the salary cap situation, at least for a little bit. Like, he's kind of like an anchored back there. So anyways, those were the comments I got in last episode. Let's call up Holttunen, and hopefully he could help bring some of the offense to life a little bit and hopefully get the young guys going. I might honestly throw him onto the top line with Pettersson or something like that, just because I feel like the two of them, since they were both from the same draft class, it would make sense for him to play that high up in the lineup. We have a lot of good young players in the AHL overall wise. Like, hopefully they get a lot of growth. Because of that, we are going to call up Holttunen, and yeah, so you have to send somebody down. So I think Oskar Olsson is going to go back down. He doesn't go through waivers. Last year he had 27 points with us, which was pretty good. But then this year so far he's only on pace for, like, I don't know, a couple goals, which is not great. So I am going to send him down and give him a chance to play down there, top line minutes, in replacement for basically for Holttunen down there in Rockford, and hopefully that gives him enough confidence to come back up here to the NHL level and score some goals for us in the next few years, I guess. So we'll call up Holttunen and put him on the top line. I think I'm going to give Athanasius second line time. Brad Lambert hasn't been really that great, to be honest, but what could we do? A lot of players on this team haven't been great, so it's like, what do we want to really do to make this team as good as possible? I guess we don't actually have to scratch Tanev now because we sent down Olsson, so never mind about scratching Tanev. How good is Brad Lambert's face-off? 74. That's not better than Reichel's? It is better than Reichel's. Okay, so we'll move Reichel to the left side, move Kubalik to the right side, kind of switch up our lines a little bit, just to try and get something going a little bit. Even though we don't want to necessarily win games, we want to have at least some guys start to produce a little bit more than they were. And power play unit wise, this is our first power play unit, which is all veterans, which is interesting. Pettersson on this. We're going to take Tanev obviously off. Then actually maybe I'll keep Tanev on as a net front presence maybe type of guy. And we will throw Holttunen on the point since he's a sniper. Give him a chance to play on the power play unit. And hopefully he could get some goals and get that power play going as well. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Holttunen could do at the NHL level. Obviously, he's a real player, so I don't know how good he actually grows in franchise mode. So there we go. Now our new look top line, Fiala, Byfield, Holttunen, and then Pettersson will play with NSU and Kurashev. We could swap the two, so then the younger Holttunen could play with Pettersson, like our two future players. But right now we'll try Holttunen on the top line and see if that works out for him. And if it doesn't, we could always make some line adjustments throughout the rest of the simulation. So there you go. That is our only little move. And yeah, Jankowski, Boyd, and Goodbranson will still be our depth options so far. We'll go to the AHL quickly, and then I guess Frank Nazar is going to get a chance to play with Olsson, which I guess is, yeah, he's listed as a left winger, but I think he can play right side. Yeah, he can play right side. So he's going to play with Kachuk and Nazar. So basically they're just going to be flipping position because Olsson's also going to get power play time down there in the AHL, which is good. So hopefully it's a little bit of a best of both worlds in the sense that Holttunen pans out in the NHL and Olsson gets a lot of development down there in the AHL, playing some meaningful games maybe down the stretch, you know. So there we go. I think we have one more power play unit to address apparently. What the heck is this doing? This is the power play unit. Oh no, this game's glitching out. Let's go head coach preferred lines, just because I don't really know what is going on right now with that line. There you go. Just didn't want this game to randomly crash and burn, because sometimes it happens, you know. So let's get simulating and see if this team can win more games than 3 games in this episode. We'll sim, like I said, to a day before the deadline, which I don't know what day that is. I don't think we're going to make any trades yet, but I will probably make trades in next episode for sure. We'll definitely take a look at like the trading block and stuff like that. So we got to sim all the way up to the trade deadlines on the March 6th this year. So we'll sim all the way up to the San Jose game on March 5th. But let's take it a little bit slow, I guess, and go 1 month at a time. Yeah, so we'll do up to January the 1st to start off with and see if we can win some games. And also if Halton and kids score some goals. And we're getting pooped on already. 14-1 that scored in the first 2 games of this episode. And then 2 shootout losses and a win, so at least we get a win to start off with. We're getting a lot of shootout losses in this month so far as well. Was Manson still injured? I don't remember if he was. I don't think he was, right? Yeah, he was not injured. Okay, good. Just got to make sure with that. We have 2 wins this month. So those roster moves might have helped out a little bit in terms of getting at least a couple more wins, but we're still playing like crap. We're 5-25-5 at January the 1st. Yeah, I think this is definitely the coach's doing. I would fire this head coach if I knew this team wasn't trying to tank anyways, but Pettersson's leading now with 16 points in 35 games, so he's still doing decent, I guess. But still, he's under half a point a game, and everybody else is below that, which is kind of nuts. Yeah, this is probably the worst team I think I've ever had in terms of franchise mode, in terms of simulation. But don't worry, once you experience the lows, you'll experience the highs when we win some Stanley Cups and all that type of thing. So hopefully that isn't too far away. Well, that's probably, I'd say, at least 5 years away before we become a contender for the Stanley Cup, but you never really know. Let's do another month, see what is going on, and then we'll take a look and see if Holtonen is doing okay on that top line, and if he isn't, like I said, we will maybe change it up a little bit. Lucas Reichel's been injured, so we'll go replace player. That should put in like Jankowski or Travis Boyd. We have a couple wins this month, which is nice. 3 wins in a row, okay. That's our best stretch of hockey yet, so that's great to see. Let's take, who was it? Yeah, Travis Boyd in the lineup. And it wasn't Jankowski. Who was it that I was putting in there? Yeah, Reichel. That's right. Let's see how Holtonen's been doing. He's up to an 81, and wow. He's got 8 points in 20 games since getting called up. He's a -8, which kind of sucks, but yeah, he's definitely ready for the NHL. He's definitely helping us out a little bit here in terms of getting goals at least. Yeah, that's good to see. I wasn't expecting him to actually pick up some points right out of the gate, but he's definitely helped that top line out. Byfield's dropped down to an 84, which is kind of concerning. I don't know if it's because of how bad this team is performing, but interesting. So Holtonen helping out the offense, which is good. Hopefully he gets some good growth because of that, and hopefully Olsen's also playing good down there in Rockford. Because obviously 1 goal in 22 games is definitely going to demoralize your chances of being a good player and whatnot, so hopefully he kind of rebounds from that down there in the AHL. Byfield's now leading the team in points with 24 points in 50 games, probably because Holtonen's now on that top line, I don't know. But there we are at February the 1st, still the worst team in the NHL with an 8-36-6 record. And we have let to win a game in our last 10 games. We're 0-9-1. How much wins does this team finish off the season with? Leave your predictions down below, because I feel like this team's not even going to hit 20 wins this year based on how we're simulating. Like, I feel like we could honestly hit like 15 wins at the most. Maybe even less than that. Because we are trending at like a couple wins a month, like 2 wins a month, 2 to 3 wins a month, which is not great. So let's see how we do in this last month before we actually get to looking at our player stats and setting up for the trade deadline in next episode. Which obviously I think a lot of these guys' values are gonna get like completely shot because of how bad of a season we've had, but who knows? It's a weird season for this team, probably because of the coach, like I said, but honestly, who knows? McCabe's been injured. Let's replace him. McCabe is one of these guys I was looking at to potentially trade this year, I think, but he's got a cap hit, so it's like I don't know if we're going to have the cap space to move him out. Korchinski is developing, which is great. Good. Branson's being a locker room cancer, apparently, and McCabe and Mitchell are both down to a 77. Yikes. That's kind of concerning. A lot of morale problems, it seems like, right now with this team. At least for the old veteran guys that are scratched. I don't really know if that's also weighing us down or what. We're 8-44-9. Did we not have a single win that entire month? Loss. Yeah, we had no wins that entire month. We had a couple extra frame losses, but still. 8-44-9. Jeez. Yeah, we're not even going to hit 20 wins this year. This might be one of the worst seasons in NHL history at this point. Let's get these last 2 games done up to the game against San Jose, and then we'll prime it up for the trade deadline. But I don't think we're even going to hit 10 wins almost at this rate, which is kind of funny. Okay, so yeah, 8-45 and 10. That is a crazy bad record. Byfield's only had like 4 points in 2 months. Wow. We better get the first overall pick, because if we honestly don't, I am honestly going to get like so mad, because we honestly should have the first overall pick by default at this stage. We're 0-6 and 4 in our last 10 games. We have not won a game since, when was our last win? I didn't want to go to settings, goddammit. Let's take a look at when our last win was, just for fun. And then we'll take a look at our player stats and team stats and all that stuff. But this is a terrible season. It's definitely the head coach, because I don't think I've ever experienced anything like this before. So our last win came all the way here against Montreal when we had our 3-game winning streak. So we have not won since January the 10th. And it's now almost March the 10th, so almost 2 months without a win. Unreal. Unreal. We better get that first overall pick this year, please. Let's take a look at this team stats and see what we've been doing so far. Probably trash and everything. I bet we're last in everything. There's no way we're not. So yeah, we're in last place by 25 points. Anaheim's also having a rough season, but obviously not as rough as us. We're only winning 20% of our games almost. Goals for per game, we're still averaging under 2 goals a game. 1.73, jeez. Goals against wise, we're averaging 4 against almost a game. So yeah, we're the worst offensive team, worst defensive team. Our power play is the worst at 8%. 8%. We only have 15 power play goals on almost 200 attempts. And our penalty kill, 78.1, is not the worst in the league. It's the second worst. So if that drops down a little bit more, we will be the worst in every category. 324 and 4 on home ice and 521 and 6 on the road. And we have not won a game in a long time. So there is that. Let's take a look at these player stats. It looks like some guys are dropping off because of morale, which is kind of concerning. Maybe we should bring in a new coach, just because this team needs to have at least their younger guys getting development. And if they're going to have a bad coach, they're not going to get that development. It's almost like what's happening with the Sens in real life right now. Like, no offense to DJ Smith, but the Sens aren't doing good enough because they have DJ Smith as the coach. So Quinton Byfield, 28 points in 63 games. He's leading our team in points, minus 41. Goddamn. Khrushchev, 22 points, not too bad, I guess. Brad Lambert, 22 points, so it looks like he's picked it up a bit since we last looked. That's pretty solid. Yeah, it's not too bad. Pedersen, 21 points, so he's really slowed down a lot since the line adjustments, it seems like, but still not too bad. How's his face-off percentage? Over 50%. Looks like we're winning face-offs at least with some of these guys, so I'll take that. Pedersen's also had 2 fights. Lucas Reichel has 13 points, not bad, I guess. Zari, 12 points and nothing for Boyd. Kubalik, 25 points. He's on those last year of his deal. Yeah, last year of his deal. Athenas, he's only got 19 points, and he's also in the last year of his deal. No, 2 years. Yikes. Tanev, 17 points. Fiala's got 17 points. When Tanev has as much points as Fiala, that's a big concern. He's a minus 48 this year. He's dropped down to an 81 because of his productions, and he is unhappy. So there's a lot of morale problems with this team right now, so we might have to look at regrouping a little bit and trading away a lot of these guys. Like Fiala should get dealt. But like the thing is the cap hit situation. We're going to be way under the cap limit unless we bring in somebody with a good cap hit as well. But I don't know if I built this team the right way or not, because I feel like everybody's unhappy, right? Very low for Tanev. Yeah, it's coach satisfaction that they're not happy with. So yeah, I think we got to fire this head coach next episode, even though we are trying to rebuild. Everybody has a low satisfaction with this coach so far. Vetrano's got 21 points. Holtonen has 12 points in 41 games. And he's neutral with this coach, probably because he just got called up recently. Defenseman, Gerard really had a good second half so far. 24 points in 63 games. Not too bad. Korchinski's jumped up a bit. 13 points. Regula, 13. McCabe, 10. Manson's got 10, but a minus 45. Gerard's a minus 55. So that Colorado pair not really working together. Mitchell's got 4 points and a minus 27. Ingot Branson, nothing. And then Driedger's got 5 of our wins. He's got an 896 and a 3.74, so a better goals against than Comesso, but a worse save percentage. And then Comesso's got 2 wins with an 898, which is the better save percentage, and a 388 goals against. 1 assist from Driedger of the season. So, yeah, I think we got to fire our head coach and bring in somebody that's actually going to help turn this young team into a contender, because I feel like everybody's going to drop off in morale and nobody's going to want to re-sign with this team and all that type of thing. So we definitely got to take that into account at this stage. How are we looking in terms of the AHL? Because we got a lot of good prospects down there. Nazar's got 49 points. He's up to an 81, so he should be in the NHL easily as early as next season, even this season. Who else we got here that's a good prospect? Ladrinsky's not developing much. Either is Savoy. Kachuk's doing good. He's actually still listed as a 4th liner. Cini, Tepley. Tepley's a 78 at 23. That's actually not bad. He might actually end up making our NHL team. Olsen's doing much better down there in the AHL. 23 points in 36 games. He's a plus 17. That's good to see. So yeah, the AHL team is definitely doing a lot better than our NHL team right now. Hayes is a 79, so he might play in the NHL soon too. That's not too bad. Defensively, Edvinson's been playing really good. He's a 79. He will be in the NHL easily next season, I think. Caleb Jones' contract ends next season. He should technically be in the NHL at this stage. It's a bit of a mess, this team right now, I should say. Vlasic's not developing either. Brunstrom, who we just drafted, is up to a 75. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not a lot of offense, but he's only played 16 games. Don't know why, if he might be scratched. We honestly might have to throw him back into the lineup. Yeah, because they might have thrown Krudel in instead when I went best lines. Damn, Soderblom's got 8 shutouts down there. And under... wow, this is a complete difference between our NHL and our AHL team. Soderblom is averaging under 2 goals a game against. And Mikkelsen, who we drafted in the 4th round, is averaging that same as well. Wow. And then the Ovechkin guy that they signed to us, been there was injuries with Soderblom and stuff, or well, not Soderblom, with Driedger. Ovechkin's been great too. So yeah, this AHL team is really good defensively, and our NHL team is absolutely trash defensively and all that stuff. That's interesting. How's our AHL team looking in the standings too? Because I'm curious on that. AHL team is in 1st place in our division by 11 points. They are the current 2nd best team in the league, it looks like, as well. Not bad. Okay, so that's good that the AHL team's at least doing good. Let's take a look at the trading block and see what is out there for potential trades. We'll also show you guys the contract situation so you can see who we could potentially move out in next episode. And then we'll also look at the draft class again just for fun. Just to see if it's worth trading for, some players for 1st round picks and that type of thing. So we don't need any veterans at this stage because obviously we're not trying to contend. Swayman's on the block. That's not bad if we want a goalie of the future, but I mean, Comesso might be our goalie of the future still, but Swayman's not that bad. I don't think we have the assets really to get somebody like him, but yeah, that's not bad. Any good prospects though, like medium elite prospects or top 6 forwards? There's Suzuki. There's also Bobrovsky, but I don't know if he's going to develop much. Zion Nybeck's there too. What else we got? Some picks. Antonio Strange is still there. He's up to a 77 at 23. Kapitanov's a low top 6. Petrov's low top 6. And Matulio. Doesn't seem like to be a lot of medium top 6s on the block. It's always like the low top 6s. Francisco Pinelli. That's a pretty decent one. Yeah, that's a pretty decent one there. He's actually like almost NHL ready, but I don't know if we really need forward prospects. We might need more defensive prospects. Like Helge Grans or Grans. He might be okay. I don't know how he develops in franchise mode though. There's also this Virgulio guy, which is a real player, I think. He probably is a real player because I've never seen that last name in franchise mode before. Damn, Kulikov's hair is getting pretty nice and blonde. Interesting. What else we got here? Goddard's on the block. Ooh, that's an interesting prospect. Garrett Goddard. Huh. How's he doing in the AHL? 23 points, 54 games, 19 years old. That's not bad. There's also Zach Lahuru. So Nashville's trying to offload some prospects, so we might be able to send Fiala back to Nashville or something. I don't know. We got to make something work and get rid of, like, I'd say Fiala for sure, but his contract might put us underneath the minimum cap. We might have to retain on him, which is unfortunate. What else we got here for prospects? Wow, Ryan Lindgren is still there as an RFA. Igor Shesterkin was put on the block, but he's only signed for 1 more year. Corson's on the block. That's a solid defensive prospect. From Austria, of all places. Boucher's there as well. Yeah, there's definitely some prospects out there if we want to trade for prospects. My favorite player is on the block, of course, but the thing is he is going to be retiring more than likely after the season, it looks like. Which means, unfortunately, we won't be able to trade for him because I don't think I want to trade for him and then have him play for a trash team. I'd rather him try and go and win a Stanley Cup, you know. So, but yeah, there is a lot of players on the block. Obviously, we're not trading for veterans. We're trading for prospects and picks. There's a goalie prospect, but not that great of one. Some of them in Toronto as well. Connor Garland. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot on the block, so maybe picks is the way to go, but there is a couple good prospects, so that's not the end of the world. So there you go on that front. Final few things, the contract situation, and then also show you guys the draft class, because why not? So up for renewal this offseason. Kubalik is a UFA, same with Tanev, so those two guys are trade bait potentially. I don't know if we might have to retain on them to keep them, like, keep afloat for the year. I don't know for sure though. Boris Kachuk is also one, but he's playing really great in the AHL, so I think I would keep him for now. Fearing Vetrano dropping off because of morale and all that stuff. He's also a UFA. Yeah, we have a lot of UFAs, so at least this team is going to go through a lot of changes this upcoming offseason, I think, minus the young prospects that we have. Drieger's a UFA. Comesso is going to need a new contract, which is okay with me. He doesn't look like he's going to develop much, which is weird, but we could sign him to like an 8-year deal. Soderblom should honestly be in the NHL at this stage based on he's playing, but he wants a 2-way contract, so it's interesting. Let me just take a look at the unsigned guys. Anybody developing well? Not really. Low elite 56. I was hoping for a 60 plus. Interesting. Okay, final thing to draft class. So let's take a look at that. See what is out there, considering we have probably the first overall pick, and we still don't know a lot about this draft class because of the amount of scouts I have and the trash of scouts I have. I don't have a good amount of scouts, or I do have a good amount of scouts, but a lot of them are not good, so I made a big mistake not bringing any in the offseason because we don't know the unanimous number 1 overall pick, and we're in March. So basically the question is, since we don't know who is what, do we go with the center and the unanimous number 1 based on this thing? If we don't know these guys at the draft? Like, why is this guy not even scouted? Do we not have scouts in this region? We don't have a scout in the region for Vance. Are you kidding me? Do we not have a scout in the region as well for Tikhonov, or what? No, we should. Yeah, we do. He's getting scouted apparently right now, which is interesting. We might have to do some draft interviews at the end of next episode as well, just so I could actually find out a little bit more about these guys first, because I don't know really anything at all. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So in next episode, we will simulate the rest of the season. We'll probably make a few trades, but not too much that we're under the cap limit. And yeah, hopefully this young team, I would say hopefully the young players continue producing, and hopefully this team, at least in the offseason, we could get some more pieces in and not have to worry about the morale issue. Like, we definitely need to address our coaching, I think, going forward. So guys, think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.